Hey everybody, welcome to my deck profile for my Pacifica deck. This is before the new stuff that comes out at the end of August. I will be doing another deck profile for all my decks once I get the stuff. So this is the starter. Bermuda Cadet Waddell. Basically you put her in the soul and you bounce a card to your hand. She's very useful for setting up combos, which I will show you at the end of the video. And now on to triggers. We have 4 heals, which I'm using the Prism one just because I like it. It's cute. And then we have 12 crits. I run 12 crits just because I don't really need a hand. Again, Bermuda's not one to do draw power. Well, Duo has lots of draw power, but Prism and Pacifica don't really have a lot of draw power in it. But hopefully when the new stuff comes out, we will have something for draw power. So on to grade 1s. We run 3 Perfect Guards, Old Era, because I like it. And then 1 Quintet Wall. Now with Pacifica, you really need to save your counterblasts, but this is just in case. But the thing is, we can also unflip damage, so I'm not too concerned. It's mostly for saving my hand because, like, I saved myself once just because I got a Quintet Wall in my hand. 2 grade 8s. Sorry for that they're over here. Yeah, 2 grade 8s. Not grade 8s, oh my god. Yeah, 2 power 8s. Yeah, they're just there to help out rear guards. Okay, sorry, I just sneezed and I cut that out. So basically, Kira is the grade 1 damage on Flipper. You Soul Blast 2 and you unflip 2 basically when she's put on the rear guard. She's good because Pacifica, her counterblast is 3. I mean, Internal Idol, which is the ideally one you want to stay on. Her counterblast is 3, so basically if you use her in the grade 2, then you can basically do her effect again next turn. And then I run 3 Prism Duo Yarmuk because when a card is returned to your hand, she gains +3. Now it's written when you're units, but it's per unit. So for every unit that's bounced back, she gets +3. There's also a grade 2 version of her, which I'm running, which you can get pretty big columns, which puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. And then I basically have Duo Happy Diary Cheryl. She's a promo. I actually had to order online because the card shop I go to didn't have her. She's basically a grade 1 version of Girls Arc Rio, which is really helpful because normally when you play Girls Arc Rio, your opponent wants to like kill it immediately because they don't want you to gain a hand advantage. But with her, she's grade 1, so she's safe. On to my grade 2s. I am running 4 of the Pacifica 12K beaters. I don't run the grade 1 version of her. I don't really find her, I haven't really used her unlike the Prism, when Prism had the grade, I think it was the 10 or 11K beater for grade 1. I use her, but in this one I don't find her as useful. I like the art, just not her. And then I run 3 Prism Duo Slaney. Slaney is really helpful because when she's placed on the rear guard, you counterblast 1 and bounce 1 back. So that would be, counter her with Rika. She's the one where, the damage on Flipper that when you bounce her back, you soul charge 1 and then you unflip 1 damage. So basically, you can use Rika, use Slaney skill, bounce her back, unflip a damage basically, so it's a free bounce. And then if you have Yarmuk behind Slaney, that's a good column, which is what I usually do. Because you can just make that column crazy. Or I put Yarmuk behind my Vanguard. So yeah. 3 Slaney. I'm having my stride stuck to my arm. My setup's really small right now. So yeah, I'm running 3 of Rika because I think 5 damage on flippers is enough, because there's 2 Kara. When they're on the rear guard, you unflip 2, but you soul charge 2, which can be pretty damaging, especially if you don't have a big enough soul, which is why I run Rika and duo Happy Diary Cheryl, which I just call duo Happy Cheryl sometimes. Stride, stop sticking to my arm. And then for my final grade 2s, I run Prism Duo Avon, which is the grade 2 version of Yarmuk. Again, if you have Yarmuk and Avon in the same column, really, really big numbers. Or just have any one of these in any column. Like, this is what, like, sorry I'm using a grade 2, but like, again, set very small. But basically, this can hit, like, big numbers, like having any one of them in the back, which is why I usually run Yarmuk in almost all of my Bermuda decks, because she's so helpful, especially in duos and prisms. So now on to grade 3s. Again, grade 3s is a bit iffy. Like, there's multiple ways you can run your grade 3s. I'm running 2 top idle Pacificas. Just because of her skill, I don't want to keep soul charging, and then I draw a card, but then I have to discard and put one on the bottom of my deck. She's only here so I can get Internal Idol to the 13k, basically. I think any more than 2 is just too much. But hopefully if we ever get that Pacifica Stride, I might run more than her, but as of right now, just 2 and 1, and they're both like SP, sort of. Again, like, I just like Pacifica's art. She's cute. And then we'll go to Top Idol, which I run 3. Go away. I run 3 of, not Top Idol. Once back, you can basically, the Vanguard also gets this ability, so it's Break Ride. Obviously, I'm sorry. When other units bounce back, you can basically search your deck out. You can basically search a card out of your deck and put it on your guard. And then when she's in the soul, you counterblast 1 top idle Pacifica. Put that in the soul, and she goes to your hand. Now, what I usually do is I usually ride. She is my top grade 3 I want to originally ride. So what I do is I ride her first, and then I go to Eternal Idol. And then with her skill, giving the Vanguard the limit break, I search out top idol. So she's on my rear guard. I counterblast 1 and she goes in my soul, and then this goes to my hand, which I could use to stride maybe if I wanted to, which is useful. So on that note, I run 3 Eternal Idol Pacifica. Again, I prefer not to ride her or Top Idol. I prefer to ride Planet Idol. But if I have to, then I have to. Basically, her limit break is Counterblast 3. When she attacks, you search your deck. No, you bounce 2 back, and you call 1 to the field. And again, if Top Idol is in your soul, she gets +2. So again, I usually have Yarmuk behind her, because I usually use, when I first ride, I usually put Waddell here, because I know at some point I will get another Yarmuk, because I run 3. So what I'll do, like, by now, like, whenever I ride her, I always have a Yarmuk behind her. So I usually either have Avon or Selene up here, and then I either have Sedna or another Yarmuk. So what I would do is I would attack with this first. So Yarmuk is going to be powered by +6, and then I'd call out the 12k attacker if I have any left, because normally I'd either have a 12k attacker here or another Selene or an Avon. Avon is a plus, but another 12k is good. I don't usually like to have Avon with not being boosted because she's only 8k, but you can get pretty powerful combos that way. So again, now that we're in this Generation Stride and Legion and everything, I bought a bunch of Fighters Collection. So, whoops. Oh yeah, okay. So, don't even know my own strides here. I don't normally stride with this deck because like Pacifica doesn't really have any good strides besides Glass Slipper, or Cinderella as I call her, which we'll get to in a second. I only have 3 of the Legendary Prism Duo Nectaria. She's only here because I don't have any other good strides, or any other good strides I could find that worked with Pacifica. So that's what she's here for. She's more useful in Prism and Duo. Basically, actually, I will go over her effects are when this attack hits, choose one of your rear guards and return it to hand. If you have a Prism with a heart, okay, her effect is when this unit attack hits, choose one of your rear guards, return it to your hand. If you have a Prism Vanguard, basically, choose a card from your hand called to rear guard, and then it gets +5. And if you have a heart with Duo, search your deck with the same name as the card, reveal it to your opponent, put that hand, and shuffle your deck. So, hopefully, when the new stuff comes out for Prism, I'll hopefully find another one of her. If not, I'll probably just only run 3. Well, which is what I'm doing now. Because I was going to run Blizza, which is really good with other decks, but Counterblast, not so much. So now we'll go with the 4 Legend of the Glass Slipper Emiria. Basically, when you start on top of her, bounce 2 back. That's it. So she's good with Reet, especially. And she's good with Reet because, like, you can bounce, like, 2 units back. And if you have, if you're looking for that one card, which is what I always have with Reet, which is one of the reasons I kind of don't like that deck, but I still have the deck anyway. It's dismantled, but it will be put back together with the new stuff. So look forward to that deck profile, especially with the new Reet stuff, Reet boosters and stuff. So yeah, like so basically overall, Pacifica is a pretty good deck. Not one of the most competitive Bermuda builds, but certainly one of my favorites to play. Like, I have like 6 or 7 Bermuda decks just because the art's amazing, and I kind of like the mechanics because against clans that retire rear guards, you're pretty safe, especially with Duo, because you basically really don't have any rear guards at all, sort of. Especially with Mirror. Like, basically, like, when you attack with your Vanguard, you return everything, basically, and then put down, like, 1, I think it is? I don't know, I'll have to look it up. I kind of don't really use Mirror that much. I had the deck, like, when it first came out, so I haven't really played it since. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next deck profile. Have a good night.